It's time for Chewing on the Wire Radio.
No, God! No,
Oh,
God,
no
please,
biting.
no,
Hey, no
no!
biting. Okay? You want me to bite you? You know that hurts, Daddy. I told you, silly. No biting, okay?
I'm so much more dangerous in overalls than any backpack with a bomb would ever be.
Power plants, breakaways, Gary Shaw's the dirty days. Stick 'em up, power plants, ain't no messing in our way. We're knocking with the day, Masasaki all the way. We're knocking all the way, we're knocking with the day. It's time for takeaways, shut up and Sally Place. Black and blue gonna win the day. You're knocking in the day. Masasaki all the way. You're knocking all the way. Masasaki win the day.
Alright, and welcome, one and welcome all. Yeah, I think we're on. I think you can hear me. I had my microphone muted when I first tried doing the test talking thing. But I think we got it now. Hold on. Can I hit the settings? Let's see, do we got it? It says you can hear me, so hopefully that's true. So this is another episode of Chewing on the Wire Radio. I'm Skids, so hopefully you know. Don't want to get into too much right now, because we got to hear this part in this Primus song coming up here. Coming up in a minute, in a second here. Up, 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 up. Alright, anyway. Now that we rocked out one of the coolest bass lines ever, in my opinion. Yeah, welcome back to Chewing on the Wire. If you're watching on CO2W TV, thank you very much. What do we got to do today? What are we going on? I mean, first things first. I guess I should address my Cheez-It problem. Right before we started this, right before we came on here, I cracked open a box of Cheez-Its here just to have a little snack. You know, no big deal. As soon as we're done here, I'm gonna go get some food. So I was just like, just a little bit. I haven't really had a whole lot to eat today, so it's still sitting here. I don't know if it's like a salt thing or it is just straight an addiction to cheese. But I've eaten like half this box. I was just like one or two, and I was like, wait, I like need two more. Two more. And again, if you're watching on CO2W TV, like, look at that. Just took the plastic out of the box there. That's like half the box is gone now. I gotta calm down because I need those. I need those for tomorrow, I think. But Anyway, so yeah. Now that I'm forcing myself out of the Cheez-It problem, what do you got going on today? We're gonna have another, maybe half hour or so here, potentially. Depends what I feel like. Happy Wednesday, though. Halfway through the week, as they say, those who go by the traditional calendar. Let's see if we can get that camera to focus. Usually, if I just look at it enough, it'll focus on me. Or I gotta do that. And it's hard. This camera doesn't want to focus unless it's like gets the facial features or gets something to focus on. It won't just like focus on the fact that there's a million things behind me and like focus on one of them. It'll just blur itself out for whatever reason. But I'm also not staring at it because I gotta make sure everything that you're listening to as well as seeing is running smoothly, not lagging. So I'm looking at a computer. Maybe I can shift it over a little bit like that. Anyway, what are we doing? So yeah, a little bit of a weekend recap. I don't really have much to say, but we went to that Cleveland Guardians game against the Kansas City Royals, which you could see some of the highlights from on COTW TV. That was another step in the direction towards covering all 30 Major League Baseball teams on COTW TV. So if you haven't gotten the note, if you aren't currently watching this there, you haven't picked up on what I'm putting down, you should subscribe on YouTube to Chewing on the Wire TV. Anyway, so at that game, I encountered a like completely helpless family, and it just this I know I'm in a weird like I have a weird probably opinion on this. I'm in a weird kind of place when it comes to like me and why I think this way, but it's like it's not that hard to get around a stadium. And again, this is me talking, so it's been to gongillions of them, and I'm at the ones in Cleveland every weekend, depending on what team's playing. But it's like they couldn't find their seats. They couldn't find which escalator to take up the stairs. It's either escalator. They all go up the stairs, just on different sides of the stadium. They'll get upstairs on an escalator or stairs. Like they were asking people like, where's first base? It was like they were asking every question you could possibly freaking imagine. Then they literally got to this section, like the guy pointed out, that's 567 or whatever it was, and they walked up and down like a tunnel to the seats and just like gave up, couldn't figure out which seats they were. They're like, this is 567. I don't know what row it is. I don't know what seat. And then they just kept walking. Like how helpless can you possibly be? And it was like a young couple with a kid. I'm like, that's just insane. And then it got even worse. It got to the point that I'm talking about it on the radio right now because I ran into them in the parking lot then afterwards, and they were getting out of the elevator. Like as I was walking up the stairs, they were meeting me like on each floor, getting out of the elevator at each floor, keeping their hand in the elevator, to block the lasers so the door doesn't close, and hitting their key fob. They lost the car. They don't know where the car is now. They forgot what level they're on. It's like, how helpless as a person have you ever left the house without supervision? It's just insane to me. And that's probably a gigantic stretch. And I'm probably just, thinking that, saying that, other than the car thing. That one's a little wild. That's helplessness. But with the whole stadium thing, I'm probably just saying that just my point of view because I go to these things all the time. So it's like I figure it out myself. I go to new arenas sometimes every couple weekends. I figure it out myself. Because guess what? Each section has numbers. Find the numbers on your ticket. I don't know how else to explain it. Find the numbers on your ticket. If I'm in 567, walk up 567. Then it says what row and what seat number. Like this isn't rocket science. The only time that I may not even ask for help, because it's not me asking, is if they come up to me and go, you're doing good, do you need help? I'll ask them if it's easier to go in this side or that side. Like if I'm seat 25, is 25 on the right, the left, the middle? But and that's only if they ask me. If they don't ask me, I'll figure it out myself and just go on whatever side I just entered on, quite honestly. But with that being said, I've already blabbered enough that we have to hop into our first break here. So once I get my screens loaded, will be right back. All right, I almost forgot to pull myself back up and just completely close myself out after that that break there. That almost didn't work. Hold on. Let me shuffle some stuff around here because I don't need this, that, and the other thing. One moment. Yada, yada, yada. Get that out of the way. Oh, maybe I should have done this during the break. Wouldn't that have been a great idea? You know what? We're going to do that later. Forget about it. So, before we hop into anything else here, I guess it's time. Guess it's time for our little COTW news. News about us, not news about other important things. Who cares about that? Just about us. So this Friday, the date for that. That wasn't a calendar. That was a clock. So this Friday, the 18th, right? Yeah, the 18th. Friday the 18th, like the popular movie. Chewing on the Wire and slash Chewing on the Wire TV. I just like hitting that bell now, so I'm going to keep saying it. Anyway, Chewing on the Wire and Chewing on the Wire TV are going to be announcing the shows that COTW Audio, which is our concert videography, photography, and audiography. Is that audio? The sound, whatever. Branch of Chewing on the Wire are going to be covering. If you've been following along, we like going to concerts is like the third or fourth thing that we kind of do on Chewing on the Wire, because if you didn't know, this all kind of started being on the radio and stuff because we were in a band called Last Alive and are still in a band, both SOH and I. So then it became kind of like we had to produce our first 3 EPs and then our second full album or second record So we're into the musical half of it, producing music, yada 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 type of thing, doing it ourselves on our own, mixing consoles. So then it kind of became a thing. Like, let's add to the amusement parks, sports, and haunted events. Let's add concerts and go video it, photograph it, kind of do the same thing we do with the sports and all that. But then let's take the audio and kind of just make it better. Let's like mix our own for funsies, almost like our bootleg version of the whole thing. But at some places, in order to do that, you got to get some kind of permission. So we're like, is this really going to be able to happen? So in season 5 last year, we tried it with the Green Day Saviors tour, reaching out for permission from venues, artists, whoever we had to talk to. And we're like, we don't know if people will be into this or if the artist slash venue, whatever, will even let us. Both happened. Y'all were very into it, according to our stats, and the venues were chill with it. So we're doing that big time with not just one artist, not just 2 artists. We are going to quite a few. I didn't count, and I'm not allowed to say anything till Friday of what they are. But we're going to let me see. Let's see if I can pull this up real quick. Yeah, jump to the bottom. And I don't know if we're going to get any connection. Come on. Oh, too far. Wait, there it is. 1, 2, 3, 4. 9 different shows slash tour stops, but a couple of them have like multiple bands. Like, it's either a festival or just co-headlining thing, almost like we did last year with the Saviors tour with Green Day, Smashing Pumpkins, Rancid, the Linda Lindas, that kind of thing. But regardless, so it worked in season 5. We took old videos from past seasons and tried mixing them a little bit better, making them a little bit better. Some of them worked, some of them didn't in our lost footage thing. But now we are doing that just as another thing. We're going to do it every year. There's going to be a couple shows every year, just like we do baseball, just like we do amusement parks and haunted events. Behind the scenes of some shows, some cool audio from shows, snippets of audio that we were allowed to mix, anything we can do. And we're going to announce where we're going for season 6 this Friday, the 18th. How about that? Cool beans, isn't it, Max? Max the cat, everybody. He's on the other side of the cameras and staring silently so you can't hear or see him, but I would like to make his presence known. He is here right now. Anyway. What else are we doing? What do I have circled here? Going back to talking about, baseball and all that stuff. There's a couple teams in Major League Baseball that have changed their City Connect uniforms altogether. Some of them, I think, are hot garbage now. Regardless, I was thinking, what if the Guardians change theirs? And quite honestly, I think the easy, the simple, the short, the sweet answer is they cannot change them. Because unless they just did a different version of what they already have, because what they have is great. Just like Houston's was great, and they garbagey cooked that up this year. The Rockies, I'm still on the fence about. I understand the like green and white thing was like a state, like a license plate thing, but it was like, this is kind of where I'm at with like the city edition stuff. It may have something to do with your city, your state. If you're like Colorado, you go with the whole state name instead of a city because you're the only baseball team there, type of thing. But like, if it looks like garbage, don't do it. And that's like all green. Like what I was thinking of and what I still think of with the Rockies and City Connect. So imagine an all purple getup, but then on the bottom going around the jersey is like a gray, silverish, kind of highlighted with tints in black and dark color, mountains all around it. And the pants are kind of a like graphite grainy, almost like the mountains gray. That's the Rockies all over it with team colors. Like, that's just what I think at the simplest. I didn't put much thought into it, but it's like Rockies, special edition City Connect. Put the Rockies on it. And they did kind of do that, but then the colors were what, like, well, I know why the license plate thing went, but like, ew, like, and then same thing with what Can I look up a picture of it if I'm thinking of the right ones? Because then it was like even worse colors now, and it's supposed to be like the how they have those colors in like the sea. It's I forgot what their saying is, but it was like the most colorful whatever state would whatever. Does it say this? No, it doesn't say what like the state tagline is all about. Just like in I guess they're not that bad. I feel like I might like the new ones better than the old ones, but I'm still just like, what the hell? And then the inside of the hats and some of what they're doing, which is what looks like it's supposed to be the mountains and the sun, looks like the Kachina, like the desert style, which is the opposite of what's going on there. Some of these city connects. I feel like I like it, but like, why? Like the colors of Colorado, sunrise to sunset. I don't know. It's better, I think. I didn't like for someone that's like all about the colors of Colorado, which is what they're doing with this one. So this is better. For someone that was all about a state that's all about the colors, yada yada yada. And their old uniforms were white in dark green. All right. Yeah. Anyway, back to the Cleveland Guardians. What they have now is just perfect. I feel like it's got the little dash of the city with the airport code, the CLE, the throwback with those stripes down the side, and it's got in the stripes that kind of pattern used on the statues, the Guardian statues, and it's got that kind of graphite look throughout the jersey. If you've ever seen it, or you want to look up a picture or something, if they were to ever change it, I just feel like you can't do better than that. Maybe like the direction I think you'd have to go is straight up another version of a mix-up, mash-up, throwback. Because if you go city, everyone's gonna be pissed off. And the reason I say that, and again, I would just like to remind everyone when I'm saying this, keep this in the back of your mind. This is coming from a graphic design professional. The only thing I really ever went to school for. That's kind of a lie. The main thing though. The degree part of it. But anyway, City Edition Cleveland. Thinking about what we have nationally known, internationally known, just Cleveland. And everyone's going to hate this, that I'm about to say this, because the whole Cavs City Edition thing, but it's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, or the Science Center, or that whole Forest City, the Nature Centers, all that stuff. The science part, because a lot of what is made here, or thought up, dreamed of here, with the John Glenn Research Center, is, sent over to Houston, of various other places, and the Astros have kind of taken over the Space City thing, so we can't do that. I think the Metro Parks, and maybe if someone just explained it to me like I was a 3-year-old, I'd understand. The Metro Parks, I don't know what you can do with that, because the Cavs tried something, and the whole Metro Parks vibe is like, I can't even explain. You'd have to look up a Cleveland Metro Parks logo, but then their colors are like big time with the green or the fall colors. If I'm remembering this correctly, the Cavs City Edition Metro Parks uniforms were light blue, like North Carolina blue. What? So that sucked, and that was not good. And then the Rock Hall. And I think the Cavs Rock Hall ones now, again, as a graphic designer, they were amazing. A lot of thought put into that, but you can't do that with the public necessarily. A lot of the public hated it because what they did, they had the word Cleveland spelled out. I don't even know what year this was to look it up, but look up Cleveland Cavaliers Rock Hall City Edition. They had the word Cleveland spelled out. The C for Cleveland was the Cavs logo. Then each letter after that was a letter from one of the older bands, like closer to, I don't want to say like original Rock Hall band, but like bands that have been in the Rock Hall and are more widely known. Like the L was the Pink Floyd L, and even if it wasn't like a letter that was in that band's name, one of the letters V was like a Metallica V, a Beatles I don't know, I'm making something up. And it was like, I thought that, like, that is it. Internationally known in Cleveland is the Rock Hall and the induction ceremony, and I thought that was very original. Everyone hated it. Everyone, I kept getting, I'm like, I thought that was one of the best jerseys they made. Everyone was hating it. And now the thing is, I don't understand why. Like, I'd understand that design specifically. Maybe it was overdone, yada yada, whatever, whatever. But like, everyone's so like, even when the WNBA team came back and they were like, we're going to be the Rockers. That's what the WNBA team used to be. We're going to be the Rockers. Everyone was like, why does it have to be Rock Hall related? There's other things. Just do, you know, the land, just do the Metro Parks. I don't think you understand. That's one of like two things Cleveland's actually known for. And you have to look at this from outside of Cleveland, because there would be Clevelanders that are like, Bertman's Mustard, this bar, that bar, Wendy's. Well, Wendy's was Columbus, but just thinking about Ohio, you know. It, ooh, excuse me. I think you have to understand, go somewhere else, go to an airport in Turkey. They don't know what the land is. In the UK, it's like, and I'm going to butcher this, but like Brighamton or Birmingham something, I'll have to look it up and correct myself later, is known as the land there. So, like, that's another thing that I kind of hate that they do. The land. Depending on where you are. Maryland, the state of Maryland, they have a college that goes, it's something like the land by the sea. And then their whole thing is the land, not Cleveland related to me. Then I guess, I don't mind the CLE, but it's just like overused airport code type of thing. But so it's, we have a very narrow opening, and I think the Rock Hall is the widest avenue, kind of like David Grohl Alley we saw in Warren, Ohio this week. Anyway, I think the Rock Hall is the widest avenue we can go down with this, and I don't have a problem with that. And it's, I think it's just because a lot of what we see, a lot of what's being fed through our feed is local Clevelanders like, do something with this place, do something with that place. And it's like, I don't think you understand that every city, and now Cleveland is known, one of their nicknames is the Forest City. If you drive through Westlake, down by Clegg Road, they have a sign talking about how that area has like won or been named whatever, like the Arbor Day, like Tree City, like gongalions of years in a row. That's fine. Whatever. Another good alternate. But like, I don't think you understand how little the city has internationally. And that's not a bad thing. It's like New York City, Radio City Music Hall, Madison Square Garden. There's other little odds and ends from there. But like, if you go to, again, Japan, Tokyo, anywhere in Korea, they'll be like, you know, their K-pop band playing at Madison Square Garden. They're not going to be like Giorgio's on 8th, the original New York pizza. I'm just making up a name. I don't know. Nobody knows that. It's the same thing. I don't think you understand how little Cleveland has that's just known internationally. And it doesn't necessarily have to be an internationally known thing, but like, to get everyone on board, and not to bring this back up, sorry to those who it offends, but like the Chief Wahoo thing. Nobody had a logo like that. That was Cleveland. One of the other Cleveland things is the Rock Hall, because all you see is like, what is it? Rock and roll, the RH, with the initials for it that they have at the front of the building. Everyone's like, oh, the Rock and Roll Hall of, okay, so Cleveland, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's very few things like that. So I wouldn't mind if they went in that direction. But I'm just going to say, after Cleveland did it, redid it, and tried it again, for some reason, every Clevelander is pissed off. And again, I'm hearing Clevelanders pissed off about them being called the Rockers. Why does it have to be Rock Hall related? Because we have 3 things in this city, and that's the biggest. Spotify, Apple, iHeart, every music streaming company, every record executive, every record company comes to Cleveland for this ceremony. It is one of the only things we have. Everyone knows about. It has to do with the city. It is a perfect City Connect thing, module, whatever you want to call it. But then it's like, again, what are you gonna do? The Metro Park. What are you gonna do for the Metro Park? Because, and there are so many people that like liked the land thing. I don't know. Maybe that's just what you got to go with. They were kind of the Guardians were using it as like the on the sweatshirts and the bags. It says the land, but it's just I just don't. I don't. Maybe here because we want to push it down everyone's throat, but like I don't think you understand how people in other places do not know what the in the hell the statue where it says the land is. Like, and I don't know how to explain that, and nobody will listen. But you know, it's regardless. We're already over our 30 minutes here. It's interesting how quick 30 minutes goes when I find something I can rant about. Anything else I want to hit up right now? We already went through our news. I think we're good. That's a 30-minute program. Well, you know what? Like I said, tune in Friday. We're going to be dropping all the concerts that we're going to for COTW Audio. Dare I say the COTW Audio Experience. Maybe I got to get that sound plugged in. And with that being said, once again, I'm Skids. I'll see you on Sunday on another episode of Chewing on the Wire. I think that's it. That's all I got. Have a good one. See you next time. Hold on, let me adjust my screen. I didn't have the button ready. Okay, have a good one. See you next time. Peace.
We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Keep smiling through, just like you always do, till the blue skies drive the dark clouds far away.